LVMH is recently announced that they're the first European company to hit $500 billion in market cap. Now, as I shared this out and talked about this, a lot of people thought that Black people were responsible for LVMH's success, hitting this $500 billion mark. And so I got curious and I said, you know what? I'm going to go down the rabbit hole a little bit and do a little research as I like to do. And so I dove down and I did some research and I want to share it all with y'all. So good evening, everybody. Kamari Ellis here. Welcome to the Finance Rebel Show. You know, every Wednesday we do Wealthy Wednesdays where we talk about money or I answer your business, money, stocks, investment questions, right? This channel, again, if you're new, this channel is all about making wealth black again. And today I wanted to talk about LVMH. Again, I find it fascinating that one, they hit $500 billion in market value or $500 billion in market value. And two, I find it interesting that a lot of Black folks think that Black people are responsible for the success of LVMH. So I said, all right, well, let's check it out. Let's look into it. Let's go down into it. Now, if you're not familiar with LVMH, it's a powerhouse brand. Everything from Louis Vuitton or Louis Vuitton, not sure exactly of the pronunciation, right? Louis Vuitton, Moet Chandon, again, not sure how it's actually pronounced. It's a European, Italian, and French brand. Let's see, some others. Hennesy is a real proper one. Sephora, and there are a couple others that they have, and they're stable. I mean, they have a lot of powerhouse brands that bring and generate them millions and billions of dollars every year. So again, I thought it was interesting to say, I wonder really what is fueling this. So I wanted to take a deep dive. So I looked at it. And I wanted to share it all with you. But before we go too far, do me a favor. If you're interested in the subject and you know anybody else interested, share this out. Like the comment. You know, the algorithms are fighting against me. So like the comments, comment, and share so more people can find this as we go through this topic. Now, again, Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Moet Chandon, Bulgari. I'm got some notes here, just looking forward through it. I'm not exactly sure how to pronunciate all of the titles and names of these franchises and brands, but people like them. And technically, I'm not really a brand guy, so I'm a little out of my depth, but I understand business. And so that's the only thing I can lean on today. All right, but like I said, I talked about those brands. I'm sure many of you listening and watching this live or in the replay know about those brands as well. And you're probably familiar with LVMH, right? Again, which stands for Louis Vuitton, Moet, what's the H? Moet Hennessy, right? And so this company was a bunch of conglomerates, right? It was built on mergers and acquisitions. So started with Louis Vuitton, it seems like, and then they brought all these other brands and all these other companies that just keep building and building and building. And here we are now with people just buying their stuff and just loving their stuff, not just in Europe, but across the globe. And as I dug into a lot of these numbers, it wasn't just in the United States that's generating a lot of profits, but many other places across the globe. So I wanted to go through some of the numbers down as we dig into these. So give me 1 second. I will pull that up on the screen and go through that as we go through the financials. Now, these are the 2022 LVMH statements, just so y'all know I'm not making this up, right? And I don't want to go through the whole thing and put y'all to sleep because, you know, it's numbers. A lot of people don't like numbers. They don't want to look at the accounting. They don't want to look at that fun stuff. So this is LVMH's financials, right? Period ending 2022. Now, when you look at this, just going to the title, to the, and just going through the table of contents, excuse me, right? You see they have a lot of their core business laid out here, right? Wine and spirits, fashion and leather goods, perfumes and cosmetics, watches, jewelry, and then selective retail, right? So they are in a little bit of everything. Let me bring this back up for everybody, right? So they are literally in a little bit of everything. I'm just trying to get the right format here. So as we go through this, I've already gone through this to save y'all the trouble. I didn't just want to read this. So some of their financial highlights. So in 2020, they did $44.6 billion in revenue. Excuse me, 6 trillion. Let me back up. 44 million. It says 44 million, but it's $4.4 billion in overall revenue. And so that's a lot of money. That's in 2020. In 2021, they did 64.2. It says million. It's denominated in millions. Let me blow this up so you can all see it. It's denominated in millions, but these numbers are actually billions. So it's $6.4 billion. And then 2022, it's 79 euros or $7.9 billion. So these folks are making a lot of money. A lot of money. And then, you know, again, when they break it down, they've done roughly, you know, I'm sorry, I messed this up. They did $79 billion with a B, 79 billion with a B in 2022. They said, so they did roughly 7.1 billion in wine and spirits, 38.6 billion in fashion and leather goods, 7.7 billion in perfumes and cosmetics. I didn't know that many people were buying perfume. Watches and jewelry is 10.5 billion in watches, and then selective retailing. So that's just a myriad of other things that they do. Came in at $14.8 billion. And so when you look at that, those are some impressive numbers. Now, going through this, right, when you're looking at a company and evaluating a company, you want to know where they make their money from. So in this next level, revenue by geographic region of delivery. So where are they making their money at? 16% is in Europe, ex France, 8% from France, Asia, 30%, Japan, 7%. So remember, it's Asia ex Japan. So that means excluding Japan. And then other markets, 12%. US is 27%. So the two top regions for LVMH are Asia, 30%, and the United States for 27%. So that's here we go. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm having some technical difficulty. All right, so as we look at this, let me bring that back up on the screen. As we look at this, now we look at how they got their money and what currency are they getting their money. And so they got their money, 19% of their money is in euros, 30% of their money is in US dollars, 7% in yen, 2% in the Hong Kong dollar, 42% in other currencies. So, you know, I would imagine based on where they're at and where they're transacting business, Asia is a large part of that. So other currencies is probably the yuan or the renminbi. Let's see, in other parts of Asia as well. So depending on where they're at, you probably have, again, a lot of yen, which they do talk about, and a few other currencies as well. But I do think the Chinese currency, the yuan or the renminbi, whichever way you want to title it, is in the building and definitely part of that currency mix. Now, profit from recurring operations, wines and spirits, 2.1 billion. Fashion and leather goods, 15.7 billion. Perfumes and cosmetics, 660 million. Now, just not to make y'all dizzy, right? But just going back, I want to look at. So they made $7.7 billion off fashion and cosmetics, but their profit was only 660 million. That must means that making perfumes and cosmetics is very expensive to make, because from 7 plus trillion to 600 million, that's a big fall off. That's a big fall off. And then we have watches and jewelry, 2 billion in profit, and then selective retailing, 788 billion. Now they talk about the breakdown of the stores. Asia is coming in heavy. 1,800 stores in Asia, a little under 500 stores in Japan, 500 stores, 518 stores in France, a little over 1,000 stores in the United States. So you can see why Asia dominates so much in terms of profits and revenue that are driven up by the company. And again, all these profits, their profits are steadily increasing year over year. They're making money year over year. Doing good, doing good. Now, as you look at this, what do you think about LVMH? Do you think LVMH is a good investment? Do you think it's just okay? What do you think about jewelry and cosmetics and wine and spirits? Like, do you think that's a good sector to invest in? Now, this is something I always feel is good to highlight. They're highlights. They're financial highlights. So I want to read those off to you, and then we can go from there. So 2022 highlights: a record year despite of the global political and economic situation, right? So Russia and Ukraine are still going at it, right? Significant revenue growth for all business groups and market share gains worldwide. So that means they're making money everywhere they go. Strong growth in business in Europe, Japan, and the United States. Good growth in champagne, cognac based on value creation strategy. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Somebody remind me of that value creation strategy. A remarkable performance by the fashion and leather goods business group, notably Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Celine, Fendi, Laura, I can't even say that name, Lowell, Marc Jacobs, which are gaining market share globally and reaching record levels of revenue and gains. Now, listen, if you are a small business owner, I've said this before, I will say it again. One of the best investments of time and education that any small business owner can do is reading the financial reports of publicly traded companies. They give you a lot of gems. They'll tell you where they're at. They'll tell you what you're doing. And they won't give you the entire secret sauce, but they give you enough to know where to go and what you should be looking at. All right, but let's go back through these highlights. All right, so Louis Vuitton revenue surpassed 20 billion euros for the first time. Right, so Louis V is still kicking it. Strong growth in perfumes. The continued global success of Dior Savage, once again, world leader in 2022. I don't even know what Dior Savage is. I'm sure it's something that smells good, allegedly. Sustained creative momentum for all of our watches, jewelry, Massons, in particular, Tiffany, Bulgari, Tag Heuer. A remarkable rebound for Sephora, which confirms its place as a world leader in beauty retail. Operating investments of nearly 5 billion euros, mainly dedicated to the expansion of the store network, the development of the production facilities, and employment. So that means that they reinvested in themselves. They had 5 billion. They said, we're going to reinvest into our stores. We're going to reinvest into our plants and facilities where we make our products, and employment and hiring people, right? Can never go wrong investing. Could have a bad timing of investments, but at some point, some way, you're going to need to re-up or put back money into the business that you're in. You can't just take all the money you make, walk away with it, and live this jet setter lifestyle. So you can see that even at the big level here. So operating cash flows of more than $10 billion. So all the money that they got in from their investments, from their retail operations, from, let's say, getting some kind of loan or anything like that, was 10 billion euros. So they are doing pretty good. Pretty good. Now, I don't want to go too deep into that because that could bore all of use. All right. So Nicole knows it's an amazing cologne. All righty. All right. So they're doing all that. They're making all these moves. And like I said, I was intrigued by this because folks was like, well, LVMH is making all this money off black people's back. And I said, okay, well, let's look at it. And I dug deeper. And a lot of folks will say black folks are always drinking Hennessy. The H in LVMH is what? Hennessy. So, it's not one of their biggest drivers. Louis Vuitton seems to be the biggest, but there's a lot of things going on. And there was one component I told y'all to keep to remind me about. And when they said, let me go back to it real quick. When they said that they made key investments, where is that at? They made key investments. I thought that was really, really interesting because they did a deal. They did a deal with a black guy. And I actually watched some of the video of the report, and they named the guy by name. So they are heavily invested in this person. Super duper heavily invested in this person and this person's success. And I'm sure they are expecting him to make them money as well. Okay, here it is. Let me put it back up. Just want to remind y'all one more again. Good growth in champagne and cognac based on a value creation strategy. So one more time. Good growth in champagne and cognac based on a value creation strategy. Now, does anybody have any idea who they might be talking about? You think you take a guess of who they might just be talking about? It's not that hard, y'all. But let me keep going. Now, again, going back to the statement of has LVMH made money off the backs of black people? Well, when you look at it from a geographical standpoint, you might want to scratch your head. You might be scratching your head. I know I'm scratching my head. That's one thing. But when you look at some of the people who are some of their brand ambassadors, then you say, this really makes you wonder. So, top of the list, Rihanna with Fenty. Right? That's something you got to think about. By the way, this is not an endorsement, recommendation, or an investment advice.
It's only entertainment.
Right? It's only entertainment. So if you decide to buy LVMH, that's on you. Remember, past performance is not a future indicator of results, okay? Or a good indicator of future results. Make sure you do your homework before you buy any investment, before you look at spending any of your money and saying, I'm going to get rich. That's not how investments work. All right. So again, talk with a qualified investment advisor and tax advisor before you make a decision to invest. But Rihanna is doing her thing over there with Fenty Savage. That's one. Beyonce is also there as one of their brand ambassadors or brand sponsors. I think she was having some kind of issues with her endorsement deal, but I'm gonna look that up real quick. But that's one. The other one is who? Kim Kardashian. Now she's not black, but for some reason, she's got a lot of black people captivated. Their whole family has a lot of black folks captivated. So I don't know. What do y'all think? So that's another one. Some more we have Pharrell. Pharrell starting to do a whole lot of stuff. Well, he's been doing things, but a whole lot of stuff with LVMH, Louis Vuitton, right? Another one is Kanye West. Now, I don't believe they parted ways with him. I have to go back and look, but he's definitely been a part of their driving force over these last couple of years. Nas is another one. Nas has partnered with Hennesy for quite a number of years now. And there's one more There's one more who I didn't mention yet. Can anybody guess that person? Can anybody guess that person? I mean, I don't think it's that hard, to be honest, because they're all connected to everybody on the list, except for maybe one person. But the last person sold 50% of their champagne brand to LVMH. So when we talk about strategic partnerships, when we talk about through value investing, or what was the exact term? Through value, I messed up the term. Through value creation, I believe it is. Right? Strong, good growth in champagne cognac based on a value creation strategy. Right? So they spent 50, I believe it was 50. No. They brought a 50% stake. They brought a 50% stake from an ace of spades, also Armadale's, also called Armadale, right? We all know who owns that. None other than Jay-Z, right? So we got Rihanna, we got Jay-Z, we got Pharrell, we got Kanye, we got Kim K, and we got B. We on Beyonce's internet. So we have all those people that are lined up as an ambassador for LVMH. So I'm still not sure that you can say that Black people have paved the way for LVMH to get rich and to get filthy, stinking rich off the backs of Black folks. But Black folks have definitely done some plowing and some pushing and some digging to help them get a firm foundation to continue to make money off of. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think that's fair? You think that's fair? Now, again, there was one clip I wanted to show y'all, but I didn't cue it up. I watched it, but I didn't cue it up. Bernard Rougeau, I always say his name wrong. Let me pull it up. Bernard Arnault literally mentioned Jay-Z's name by name in their annual meeting. So that tells you something. That tells you a lot. So let me just pull this up here. I want to show it. I'm not going to go into it because I didn't get a chance to go all the way through it. I mean, but the other thing I always say to y'all is that if you have an opportunity, watch some of these reports, right? A lot of these companies, whether it's your Googles, whether it's the Gap, whether it's any kind of business you're in. Nicole, I see you're in the building. I don't know if there's any publicly traded honey companies. I'm gonna Google that. But if there are, you should look them out and research that out of them, because I bet you can find all kinds of gems in there. That's interesting. So Barkman honey is in the US and it looks like it is publicly traded. I'm just throwing this in the Google real quick, y'all. Forgive me. I'm picking on Nicole because Nicole is a Black business owner who harvests honey. I believe the term is harvest honey. Okay, so let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let me switch real quick. Because I do want to show this. I do want to show this. And all my nerdery. Yes, nerdery is a word. I'm making up words as we go along. So Barkman's Honey is a publicly traded company. And I would, let's see. They don't have anything on here about their investment, their stocks. Uh-oh. Let me go back. Let me go back. I thought I had something. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Did they go down? Corporate. All right, they're no longer publicly traded. I was wrong. I think they were at some point, and then they delisted. So let's see if I can find one. But I'll come back to some of the comments as well. And just to go down into that. I did find it again utterly fascinating that Bernard, however you say his name, literally named Jay-Z by name. I didn't even name Rihanna or Kanye. And from what I'm hearing, and LVMH has not released their separate segment information separately, but from what I understand, Fenty is doing damn good. Fenty is doing damn good. But I didn't hear her name mentioned. Now, to be fair, I didn't get a chance to go through the whole thing. But that still said something to you, in my opinion. I don't know. Do y'all agree? One of the most impactful fashion people in the world mentioning your name. Okay, I don't see it, but I'm gonna go and look. There's gotta be somebody who's in that business heavy. Oh, Nicole says 50 years your money. All right now. All right. So let's go back here. Let's go back. See if I can find it real quick.
Sharing with a total for the group of 400 million a year. A word on the our commitment as regards the environment. LVMH has been recognized for its leadership in terms of transparency and performance regarding.
So, I mean, he's just a typical guy, in my opinion. Clearly, he's rich as all hell. Let's see. I think this might be it. This might be it.
Doubled forecasts performance for wines and spirits. Triple A out of 15,000 companies, and I believe we're the only one to have achieved that in our business sector.
Having a AAA rating is like having an 850 credit score. So that is very impressive.
Wanted to state that because this is even equally important, perhaps even more important than the figures that we're discussing today. Moving now across the various business groups, say excellent performance for wines and spirits. Champagne delivered an excellent year with a considerable increase in its sales. In fact, facing a supply problem. It's very difficult in certain countries, notably in the US, to find Dom Perignon. For this year, we fully...
they can't sell their Dom P anywhere.
Integrate.
What will they do? Oh Lord, the Dom P is gone. What will they do?
Armand Brignac that we own together with Jay-Z, the famous US star, and it works very well. We're doubled our forecasts made when we made the investment, the acquisition of the Joseph Phelps vineyards in the Napa Valley. That augurs well for the future. Cognacs.
So it sounds like they brought 50% stake into the Napa Valley vineyard, I'm assuming that Jay-Z owns. So again, that's pretty impressive. And they said it's doing better than they expected. So they're clearly getting some juice from Black folks. Can't say all, can't definitively say all, but they're getting a lot.
C'est l'heure, oui. Bonsoir tout.
It went too far
whole
back.
String of products arrive. Lop products that
I was trying to find if you mentioned Rihanna.
Ahead of the
because it's also
Rihanna's
Rihanna's
the leadest
It's also Rihanna's internet too. So, you know, we can't be out here being disrespectful to Rihanna. We don't want the army, or was it the Navy? What's Rihanna's crew? I know Beyonce's the Beehive. I'm getting old. I can't keep up with all these crews. So what is Rihanna's?
Starting with the US, the United.
All right. So again, I was trying to find Rihanna. Or I was trying to find if they mentioned Fenty. Excuse me. Well, I don't know. What do y'all think about this? So we got Nas, we got Rihanna, we have Jay-Z, we have Kim K, we have many others, black or black adjacent type people. I mean, is that fair? Black adjacent type people who are promoting the LVMH brand. Jay-Z as well. So, you know, it's to me, it's interesting. And, you know, Nas with Hennessy, we know black folks drink Hennessy by the gallon. I used to be one of those people a long time ago. My kidneys can't take that no more. My liver definitely can't take it no more. So I don't drink that stuff no more. I can't handle it. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think it's a fair assessment to say that LVMH has benefited off the backs of black people, that black people made LVMH rich? Tell me what you think. Chime in the comment. All right, so. Oh, you like it. Okay. No, not busted. Yes, Jay-Z. All right, are you packed yet, Miss Ann? Hello. I've never heard of LVMH until yesterday on an investment show on YT. The guy broke down a lot of them. I think LVMH also brought Tiffany. Yes, they did. His daughter is COO. Yep, they keep it in the family. And yes, I think they got rich off of black folks. Now, you just said you never heard of them. So explain to me, how do you feel that they got rich off black folks? I gotta ask. All right, so Nicole, all right, yes, Fenty has all my money. Then you should probably invest in them if you buying LVMH via Fenty. Now, you're older than me. You can have it. I'm not in the competition to be older than nobody these days. Now, if you want to potentially get some exposure to how some of these brands or how some of these influencers and celebrities, right, are able to make money, you could potentially invest along with them, air quotes, a little bit by potentially investing into an LVMH stock, which you can buy here in the US because they are a foreign company. And you can buy it, the single stock, and you could also buy it through an ETF or an exchange traded fund. Again, it's
only entertainment.
I am not giving out investment advice. I'm just talking about it and saying that there's a potential opportunity there. All right. Now, when we look at the stock, when we go over here and we look at the stock, I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. Oops. Out of proportion. Let's bring it back. All right. So it's $191, almost $192. Year to date, the stock is up. Started out at $148 at the beginning of the year. Now it is at 148 from almost up $50 for the year. That's actually pretty impressive. Right, so it's up over 30% from the beginning of the year. So, you know, that's not bad. Again, this is not.
It's only entertainment.
It's not investment advice, y'all. We're just talking about it. This show, the Finance Row Show, is here for only for entertainment and edutainment only. My mama might smack me. She heard me say that. So again, anytime you're looking at an investment, you want to look at the fundamentals, meaning how do they make money? Where do they make money? How often do they make money, right? What do they make money on? Well, you know, LVMH makes money all over the world, right? They make money in fashion, liquor, colognes, jewelry, you know, pretty much well diversified over that fashion sector. So, you know, they're getting money, definitely getting money. Now, another comment I saw is that a lot of people got their PPP money and they went crazy. Brought all kinds of Louis V bags. Everybody was dripped out. Now, when you look at this is year to date, over the last year, they did well as well. A year ago, LVMH was $130. 3 years ago, LVMH was $75, almost $76. So over the last, say, 3 years, price has doubled. Price has doubled. So if you would have invested $1 3 years ago, it'd be worth $3 right now. If you would have invested $100 3 years ago, right, LVMH would be, your ownership stake in there would be worth $300 right now. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. So as we look at this, we went through we went through a lot of their things. And again, they are definitely using an influencer / celebrity type of strategy with their marketing, because, you know, again, with Nas with partnering with Hennesy and Jay-Z with his cognac, they brought 50% stake. Rihanna with Fenty. Beyonce, what does she have? Beyonce has, what does she do? Something with Givenchy. Givenchy. I don't know if it's Givenchy or Givenchy. Again, I'm not that cultured, y'all. You gotta help me out. But again, it's been a good investment. They're at half a T. They have really strong brands. They're at $500 billion of market cap. Could they be worth $1 trillion over the next 5 years? I mean, that's a strong possibility. Again, there's no absolutes, but that's definitely a strong possibility. Now, I feel like Beyonce had some kind of endorsement problems. But I'm not sure if it was LVMH. Oh, it was Adidas. Okay. It was Adidas. That's right. I remember that now. So much going on. But she's still rocking with LVMH from what I understand. So, but I mean, Pharrell is doing something there. So let's pull that up. Pharrell, I know Pharrell's doing something. I believe it's with Louis Vuitton. Right, so Adidas and Beyonce did a clothing deal. From what I remember, they said she wasn't wearing the clothing that much. Now, Pharrell, when we look at Pharrell, right, he is now the creative director. Louis Vuitton is delighted to welcome Pharrell Williams as the new men's creative director. His first collection for Louis Vuitton will be revealed next June during Men's Fashion Week in Paris. Now, I'm not sure. I believe this is relatively recent. And Pharrell's got that whole pretty boy, clean skin vibe going down. So, you know, he's always been kind of doing that model thing. So again, Jay-Z's on the inside, Pharrell's on the inside doing things. I know Kanye was trying to do something with them a while ago, but I don't think that ever panned out. That was back when he was having rants about nobody wanted him to be involved in fashion. So again, I mean, I think that's dope. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? It's another step forward for Black folks, right? For mankind. Now, you know, Rihanna, Kim K. Let's see, what is Kim K doing with? Because although Kim K has absolutely no talent, her family's talent is, they know how to get seen. I don't know how, because her sister also has a $1 billion brand as well for her stuff. I don't know how, but it's not for me to judge. It's not for me to judge at all. So when I look this up, let's see. Okay. Kim does stuff with, oh, come on, people. All of these, I got technical difficulties, y'all. Hold please, hold please, hold please. Let's see here. All right, let's try this again. Back from the top. All right, Kim K does stuff with Fendi. So they have major brand sponsorships with a lot of top celebrities who are rooted and founded in Black culture, but have crossed over. So, I mean, what can you say about that? What can you say about that? And I just saw that Nas has partnered with LVMH Hennesy to do something really interesting, actually. Let me see if I can find it. It's something supporting Black businesses. I was actually surprised. Not that Nas is working with Hennessy, because he's done that for a long time. But I'm not sure if these things are still relevant and ongoing right now. So Nas partners with Hennessy Acceleration Fund to empower next generation of Black, and it didn't skip over, of Black entrepreneurs. So Nas partners with Hennessy's Acceleration Fund to empower the next generation of Black entrepreneurs. Again, that's dope. In my opinion, I think that's pretty awesome. Who would have ever thought Nas would be kind of a global brand? So, always been a top tier MC. Always. So again, very interesting, very interesting. All right, so Nicole says never knew Fenty was a part of them. Yep. That's where they got the money from. So Rihanna owns a piece, Fenty owns a piece. Nobody knows how much or what, because they're super duper private, which I don't blame them. Right? I get it. Everybody don't need to know your business. And yes, Tiffany's was brought out by them a while ago, like around the pandemic. Hey, I ain't see you here in a while. How you been? Thanks for joining us. What's up, Lawrence? All right, so he says some people loves to look rich, so the companies and celebrities cater to the aesthetics. Too bad most people are living paycheck to paycheck, debt to sustain the look. Yeah, this is true. All right, Satria, I believe it's Satria. Correct me if I'm wrong. I hate messing up people's names. All right, so she says, I'm not so bothered that they got rich on Black folks. I'm more concerned as to why so much brought into them. Most buying of anything is emotional. That is true. All sales usually starts and ends with emotion. Might get a little bit of logic mixed in somewhere sometimes. I mean, listen, think about all the impulse buys you go through, especially when you go through the market, or especially when you're feeling sad. How many people use shopping as therapy? Lots of people. Lots of people. Yup, and survival. Well, then Tiffany's got my money too. Oh, Lord. Hey, Miss Edith. Long time listener, Miss Edith. How are you? I've been. And actually, I owe all y'all ones. Liked and shared. Thank you. Thank you for being a good citizen. All right. So yeah, I mean, again, I never understand why people get so into label brands like that. Listen, Run DMC, Run particularly toward us early. Calvin Klein's no friend of mine. Don't want nobody name on my behind, right? So he said it in his lyrics. Now you could say that the whole Adidas thing was kind of contradicting that, but at least it was like, I'm not going to be walking around just rocking people's stuff just because. I'm not going to be a slave to the label just because. So, you know, I think that can be very, very interesting when you think about it all, right? But some people like to look good. I mean, you got whole crews that call themselves the low crew for polo. And then they have like differing levels, right? If you wear polo, I think it's purple and green. I can't even remember all the different levels, but some of this stuff gets really deep, like really deep. And so it's a culture of its own. So no, I don't think that was Rock Pops. But I'm so old I can't remember. I gotta look it up now. Don't want nobody name. Can I spell body? Ain't on my behind. That Rock Box or was that King of Rock? Buzz Rock Box. Rock Box is my favorite. I should know that. All right, Miss Edith. Horns for you too. You got me. You are correct. Correctamundo. So again, LVMH, a lot of people feel Black people have built LVMH up. Now, again, as we see, the majority of their money comes out of where? Asia. Number two. Excuse me, United States being number 2. But if the majority of their money is coming out of Asia, it's kind of safe to say that Black people can't get all the credit. However, their bench, their team that they shooting with, that they pulling from are deep. How much revenue is Jay-Z responsible for a lot of global brands? How much revenue is Beyonce driving? How much revenue is Rihanna driving? How much revenue is Pharrell Williams and Kanye West and who else? Nas. How much are they driving? And those are just the bigger ones. I'm sure there are other LVMH brand sponsors, LVMH partnerships that I don't even know about. So again, I don't think they're going anywhere. But the question is, are Black people really responsible? So y'all tell me in the chat, are Black people responsible for the success of LVMH? All right, folks, until the next time, I'll be back with y'all. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Until the next time, Kamari, y'all is out. Y'all be great.